Is blindness a barrier? No.
Is deafness a barrier? No.
Are mobility, learning, cognitive disabilities, speech impairments and others, or even a combination of them, barriers? No way. Lack of accessibility is.
Welcome to Web Accessibility for All.
Follow the blind. This journey starts now.
Hey, can someone turn the lights off? I'm dying over here.
What? Again? That's a third time today.
Yeah, well, some of us have light sensitivity, you know. These bright lights feel like laser beams in my eyes.
Hey, my friend, welcome back to Web Accessibility for All, the podcast where we flip the switch on how we design for every user, every ability, and every environment. I am your host, Ariel, software engineer, web accessibility specialist, and ironically, someone who doesn't even see the screen at all. But dark mode still matters to me, because accessibility isn't just about what you can see, it's about how you experience the web. And dark mode has become one of the most requested, most misunderstood features out there. Let's get into it.
What is dark mode?
Dark mode is just an alternative color theme where the interface flips. Light-colored text, icons, and elements sit on a dark background. It's basically the opposite of the traditional light mode, which most websites and apps have used for decades. These days, dark mode has become super popular in web and mobile apps. Many give you the choice to switch from light to dark, or from dark back to light, just by toggling a button somewhere in the interface. Now, to be clear, dark mode isn't something that accessibility guidelines especially require, but when it's done right, it can absolutely help make digital experiences more usable and more inclusive for lots of people.
Dark mode, a bit of history.
You know what's funny? Dark mode is not new. In fact, the original computers, the ones with those giant chunky screens, used dark backgrounds by default. Well, it was the limitation of the technology back then. Fast forward to the smartphone era and the growing conversation around eye strain, light sensitivity, migraines, and just like that, dark mode was back.
Myths about dark mode.
Let's bust a few myths that keep showing at every time someone mentions dark mode.
Myth number 1. Dark mode is better for your eyes. Always.
Well, not so fast. For some people, especially those with photophobia or light sensitivity, dark mode is a lifesaver. But for others, it actually makes things worse. People with astigmatism often find that white text on a dark background blurs and halos, making it harder to read.
Myth number 2. Dark mode is just a simple CSS trick.
Yes, CSS gives us tools to handle the basics. But real dark mode? It affects images, charts, shadows, focus states, brand colors, and most importantly, accessibility checks.
Myth number 3. Dark mode is automatically more accessible.
Some people assume that if you offer dark mode, you checked the accessibility box. But remember, text still needs proper contrast in dark mode. Focus indicators still need to be visible. error states, disabled buttons, icons, all of it must still meet accessibility guidelines. Alright, it's time to talk about the real question.
Who's responsible for dark mode?
At the top of the chain, you've got the operating system. Windows, Mac OS, iOS, Android, they all let users choose between light mode and dark mode. Then comes the browser. They expose the user's preference to your website. But wait, this is where things get messy. There are also browser extensions and accessibility overlays that try to force dark mode on sites that don't have one. Extensions or system-level settings like force dark mode in Chrome or Firefox will invert colors or attempt to restyle the page automatically. And here's the truth. Automatic dark modes can break layouts, wash out images, mangle branding, and most dangerously, reduce accessibility. So if you are wondering whose job it is, a well-crafted dark mode is always something the design team and development team need to collaborate on. It's the product team's job to bake dark mode into the DNA of the app. It's an accessibility feature, not just an aesthetic.
Could you turn the lights back on, please? I can't read a thing.
Wait, you wanted dark mode, didn't you?
Yeah, but not today. With my astigmatism, everything's gone blurry. The letters, they kind of glow and smudge together. It's giving me a headache.
The design system dilemma.
Let's be honest, for most teams, adding dark mode is directly proportional to the health of the design system underneath. If your design system is solid, dark mode is just another theme. It's work, sure, but it's manageable.
Welcome design tokens.
In well-structured design systems, we use design tokens, little named variables that control things like background color, text color, button color, shadows, borders, spacing. For example,
background dash color colon var left paren dash dash color dash background dash default right paren semi.
And that variable?
It changes depending on the theme. That way, you don't have to rewrite your CSS. You just swap out the values underneath. And by the way, this doesn't just help with dark mode. It also helps with accessibility, maintainability, and theming for other needs, like high contrast or reduced motion.
Developer approach and testing.
Now, the question is, how do you actually implement dark mode in a way that doesn't make your developers want to crawl under their desks? And more importantly, how do you test it so it doesn't accidentally break accessibility? Let's take this step by step.
Step 1. Don't rewrite everything.
First, please don't fall into the trap of creating two entirely separate CSS files. It's a guaranteed way to double your bugs. Instead, modern CSS gives you tools like
At media left paren prefers dash color dash scheme colon dark right paren left brace colon root left brace dash dash color dash background dash default colon number 121212 semi dash dash color dash text dash primary colon number F0 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 semi right brace
By using custom properties and the preferred color scheme media query, you are letting the system decide which theme to use automatically.
Step 2. Test more than just the colors.
Dark mode isn't just about color. You need to check: do hover, focus, and active states still show up clearly in dark mode? Do error messages still meet contrast guidelines? Does disabled text still look visibly distinct but readable? Does your accessible focus ring survive both themes?
Step 3. Accessibility testing in both modes.
That means running automated contrast checks on both themes, manually testing keyboard navigation, especially focus outlines in both themes.
The WCAG perspective. What changes and what doesn't?
Now let's talk about what happens to accessibility when you switch to dark mode. And I want to say this very clearly. WCAG doesn't change when dark mode is on. The rules stay the same, but your compliance status might change. And that's the trap.
Bruh.
The problem is, many teams build their dark mode quickly and forget to check contrast ratios all over again. But it doesn't stop at color. WCAG also cares about
error identification.
Can users see when something goes wrong in dark mode?
Consistent navigation.
Do interactive elements still look interactive?
Visibility of disabled states.
Can users tell what is clickable and what is not?
Documentation saves lives and UIS.
Let me tell you something that I've learned the hard way. Dark mode without documentation is a guaranteed shortcut to chaos. And I get it, nobody likes writing documentation. But when it comes to dark mode, we are talking about our design system. Skipping documentation doesn't just cause design inconsistencies, it creates real accessibility risks. If you're going to offer dark mode or any theme, it needs to live in your style guide and your design system documentation. That means clear list of color tokens, backgrounds, texts, borders, shadows, visual examples of interactive states, hover, focused, active, disabled, accessibility checklists, how to test for contrast, focus visibility, and even things like accessible charts that change color. And here's the bonus. Good documentation doesn't just help with dark mode, it helps with high contrast mode, custom theming, and keeping accessibility front and center in every decision.
Wrapping up.
Dark mode is not just a design feature, it's an accessibility feature. The key to getting dark mode right is giving people choice and making sure that every choice is accessible, testable, and documented. Thank you so much for listening to Web Accessibility for All. If you found this episode helpful, share it with your team. Let's keep building a web where no one gets left in the dark. Goodbye.
Thanks for joining us today. Subscribe for a new challenge next week. And don't be shy. Leave us a review or ask your accessibility questions online. See you next week for another episode of Web Accessibility for All.